I would like to support people that are dealing with food insecurity. Just like come
Yeah,
and come and take it.
we gave away food a couple of years
gave away
ago.
like we've given away a ton of food,
Right.
and to me it's more of an educational and a personal journey of just like, creating a space where I am supporting nature instead of
Yeah, we always say we like to leave things better than we find them.
yeah.
Hello,
Hi, good morning. Hang on, I'm
Deborah
just
and
turning up my
Gabe.
volume. Morning. Sorry, Gabe's here as well. Can you see him?
Yep,
Just realizing we're like,
I'm a big fan of that video on YouTube, the exploring alternatives video. That's how I came across your guys' Ecobubble. I was like blown away. I watched it like twice. But yeah,
wow, awesome. We're actually so they were put in touch with us through the company that we got the geodesic dome from, Arctic Acres.
oh wow,
And so I would say like they potentially might be a great contact for you in regards to other Canadians that are kind of doing similar things. And so when they asked us if they could come interview, we were like, yeah, sure. Like, we've been working with like a lot of kind of different, like we were working with York University. They had a permaculture course. So we were doing talks for them. And so we didn't really think anything. And then I actually looked at who Exploring Alternatives, and I'm like, oh my God, they have like 2 million followers. Like we
yeah,
had no idea like how big they are.
yeah.
So yeah, so that was really great for us. We really thoroughly enjoyed it. They definitely did a professional job. So,
Gosh,
but
yeah, it was a very professionally made video, and I learned a lot from it. And I'm a huge fan of like permaculture, organic farming. I try to do as much of it as I can where I'm located, and we have like
yeah,
0.75 acres. So it's enough to do permaculture, but I would like to do like sheep and cows in the future. So we're looking for
yeah,
land at the moment. But I'm
Where
sorry to
where
hear,
where are you located?
Detroit, I
I'm
think.
in Michigan. Permaculture is something I've been like researching and watching videos, reading books on. Watched a lot of Joel Salatin, and I've been interviewing like regenerative farmers the past 2 years, including Joel. I interviewed him, and I'm a master's student right now, pursuing
Yeah,
a degree in biology. And my paper is focused on regenerative farming, specifically like integrated crop and livestock systems. So that's like my obsession, I guess, and which is why I really like your how you guys were doing things on in the video. And I'm sorry to
yeah.
hear things aren't going as well right now.
We actually, both of us said we've been so blessed in our lives and so lucky, and it just feels like this year, all that good luck. We finally had to have a year of like bad luck.
Yeah,
So we unfortunately we had a lot of like starting in June, we just had a lot of losses of like
Pets, friends,
neighbors.
yeah, neighbor. So yeah, and not to mention a brutal winter that you're enjoying as well.
Yeah, we're day 4 of a snowstorm. Like I can't even get to the dome right now. There's so much snow and drifting and stuff. Like we can't even get out there.
it's
Yeah,
bad right now, snow wise. I have
yeah.
like a bunch of questions about how you guys are maintaining the dome and stuff. And like for instance, how do you get the snow off of the top? It's just you go on a ladder and start like try to take it off, or
No, honestly, because of because it's an actual dome, the heat from inside. So we do use 2 heaters inside the dome. We don't let it drop below 10 Celsius typically. The heat from inside the dome is enough to basically cause snow to slide off
yeah.
of the dome. So right now, I think our bigger issue is the drifting that we've got up the side of the dome.
Mhm.
So I think, is it tomorrow? Like the second we get any sunshine, which, again, sunny days in central Huron, southwestern Ontario are few and far between. But the second we get any kind of sunshine, it literally will just melt and slide right off the dome.
Oh wow.
So there is enough light getting in there. Again, we're doing a quieter winter than you said. We're at 4 years for the dome this winter.
Yeah, yeah. This year it's mostly keeping tropical things alive in there.
Yeah.
Like we've
Yeah.
got a fig tree,
Olives,
olive, lemon.
lemon, pomegranates. I do have like some soft neck garlic growing. I've got green onions. I've got arugula, Swiss chard. But at the same time, I also have right now a lovely aphid infestation going on. And I also have soft body scale.
Couple of ladybugs.
Yeah, I've got a couple of ladybugs, but 10 degrees for them is they're not too inspired.
Yeah.
So that would be definitely, like, I will say when it comes to greenhouses, it's a bit of a challenge in the winter because like I think the last 2 winters I was dealing with roly-polies. Do you know pill bugs, roly-polies?
Yep. Yeah. Pill bugs. Yeah.
So they're they've got no predator in the dome, and they run out of composted stuff to eat in the soil over the winter, and then they start working on any kind of like seedlings or greens that you've got. Like they just decimate stuff in the dome. So it's a bit of a challenge in regards to trying to be pesticide free. So I use like a soap, rubbing alcohol, and water solution for my scale, for my aphids. But for roly-polies, like they're insatiable. And you don't have like any kind of natural predator in the dome. So it can be a bit of a challenge. And then even with like what we're dealing with right now, like this is one of the worst winters we've had in the 5 years that we've been here. So even trying to get to the dome. So like I'm actually really glad right now that I'm not growing to try and like produce and sell, because I don't think it would be even feasible right now for me to kind of do that. I can't even get in there at the moment. So
And I wanted to say snow on the sides is okay because it's like an insulator.
Okay.
So
it
it acts as a,
like an igloo.
how people survive avalanches and all that.
Okay.
They're insulated from the cold.
I was gonna suggest, like, have you guys tried using, like, asking, like, Google or ChatGPT, like, what are some good predators for isopods, pill bugs, and then see, like, what it says? Or not even predators, or what solution they recommend? Because I know there's, like, some sprays that are not pesticides or herbicides, like just plant essential oils that could deter them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have over the last couple of years tried just about so it's a known issue in growing domes. Everybody on growing domes complains about the pill bugs. So I have tried beer traps, which works, but you start going through a lot of beer. Like it's quite expensive. I have done cornmeal. I have done diatomaceous earth.
Chop and drop to get them to.
Yeah, last year I actually just did chop and drop in the dome. So like basically giving them something to eat, and it was working really well. But after a while, I realized I'm creating like a breeding cycle of like they're eating and breeding, and now I've got even more pill bugs. Yeah. So yeah, it's a known issue, and now I like try to protect things. Like I use like solo cups or some sort of like object around like anything that I'm seeding. I feel that this year I'm probably going to be doing a big dig out of soil in the dome and replacing with fresh soil to try and remediate like some of the the population that I have currently.
Okay.
They can be good because they eat heavy metals and
Oh, wow.
a lot of toxins in your soil. So they're great in the general environment, but in such a small controlled environment, they
Mhm.
can get out of hand.
Well, anything in moderation, right? But and anything that gets out of whack in the ecosystem, it causes problems, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, yeah, I think I'm at a place now where I'm gonna have to do like a soil replacement,
Mhm.
which is a huge job. And again, like when it comes to talking about the challenges of where we're at for the Ecobubble, I would say like I am trying to transition more to a food forest type mentality.
Mhm.
So having things that are perennial, native, and coming back annually, and then trying to create like an annual harvest for those things. So I've got
Mhm.
like we've planted elderberry, serviceberry, chokecherry. I've got like blackberry, what else?
Immature pawpaws.
Yeah, immature pawpaws,
Mhm.
um, hazelnut, American hazelnut. So really kind of working towards things that are, I have a massive rosemary in the dome that's
Oh, wow.
doing fabulous. So that for me, actually, I did quite a bit of rosemary harvesting this year and did like rosemary
That's
oil,
great.
rosemary
Yeah.
salt, fresh rosemary, dried rosemary. Yeah. So just trying to now start looking at it like we're honestly a work in progress.
Mhm.
When we landed here 5 years ago, we were living in downtown Toronto, as you saw in the video. We had a vegetable garden in our tiny little backyard in downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
Landing here with a half acre, and it was just grass. So everything we've done has been in the last, I would say, 4 years. So it's the learning curve has been massive. I didn't know anything about permaculture when we landed here. So
It's come a
Okay.
long way since the video too. There's lots of new gardens Deb built, and
yeah,
Wow.
500 garlic are in the ground right now for next year.
yeah, garlic's the big one for me. Yeah,
Yeah, garlic's great, easy to sell.
yeah.
Yeah. The food forest idea you guys are planning, that's gonna be like right outside the dome, or where are you gonna plan that out?
It's spread out throughout the property. So the dome is like 26 feet. We have a half acre of land. So I am basically I have I think 8 or 9 hugelcultures
Mhm.
in existence. Again, they need to be built back up. They've composted quite a bit over the 5 years.
Okay.
And but then in other areas, like I just look for, you know, corners that there's nothing going on. And again, like I'm learning with each year, what's going to work in what area of the yard based on light exposure. So because we're a half an hour in from Lake Huron, we deal with a lot of volatile weather,
Mhm.
high winds, lake effects, high winds. Like 2 years in a row, I lost my tomato gardens got completely destroyed by huge storms coming through.
Uh-huh.
So this year I actually did determinate tomatoes instead of indeterminate. So
Okay.
like shorter, closer to the ground. But then we got like a really cold, wet August, and I got blight,
Yeah,
tomato
we
blight.
had bad weather this year, summer.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's your weather. We're
Yeah,
getting
that
your
is.
weather from over the lake.
yeah.
I don't think
So
we
so
don't suffer from that severe winds where it'll destroy stuff, but yeah, it's like cold and a lot
yeah,
of snow. Yeah. Because we're a little bit
yeah.
further
It's
from Lake St. Clair is the closest. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we get
Yeah,
we get 80-kilometer winds on a regular basis.
Okay.
So that can be like a real
yeah,
challenge.
that's 50 miles. You're
Uh, I don't think
And
we,
yeah, we have sunflowers. We leave those for the birds. They get knocked over by the wind. Our tomatoes get knocked over by the wind.
but the geodesic structure holds well in the wind. The dome, does it handle wind well?
Yeah, it's so that was actually one of the reasons we chose that structure specifically. Like, the first thing was we want to be able to grow year round. And then the second was something that's going to withstand the weather that we deal with out here. So it is good up to, I think it's 200 kilometer wind
Kilometers, so 160 miles.
and a snow load of like 6 feet.
And you're able to keep the temperature in there, like you said in the video, 50 degrees, or is it hard to do? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's just more about our hydro bill, like our electric bill. So like our electric bill last month, we had an extremely cold January, and our electric bill
And
was
February, but
$600.
yep.
$600 for the electricity. That's including the house, but the house is a very small portion of it. Most of that is those two heaters having to run like 24/7 to keep it at 10 degrees in the dome.
There
So
are other options, but that's the one we have.
yeah, we're actually considering looking at like more sustainable heating option. We haven't gotten there yet. So
How much was
yeah.
how much was your electric bill without the dome, like just the house?
The house by itself is probably 150.
Okay.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, some of that bill is incidental things like we're out in rural country, so we pay a delivery fee,
Yeah.
enormous delivery fee.
Yeah.
That's just a hydro bill for rural
Properties.
low density neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
So some of that
something
bill isn't actually kilowatt.
Okay. Yeah. Like it's like it feels like I'm fighting nature when I'm using these heaters and stuff. I would like for it to find some way to do it more sustainably, because I don't have a greenhouse, but I built a chicken coop, and during the just about a week out of the winter, I have to put some supplemental heating in there for those -degree days. And not only that, I'm into aquaponics, so I have fish tanks with Amazonian fish species, and I'm thinking, should I heat the room or should I get individual heaters? And I have to test if individual heaters in each tank is sucking up more electricity than just simply heating the whole room up, which is like kind of what greenhouse are for. So that's stuff I'm experimenting with as well. It's fascinating.
Cool.
And at around Christmas time, we only get 8 hours of sunlight.
Okay.
So you're fighting a different thing, with the solstice. We're fighting you get 16 hours of dark. That means no, like on a day like today, it's cloudy. There's a ton of wind and snow right now, just drifting everywhere. But the dome without any heat at all will probably hit 20 degrees or Celsius, that is.
Yeah.
That's about 68 or 70 degrees Fahrenheit without any supplemental heat. Problem is the sun will go down at 5:30 and that temperature begins to drop.
Yeah.
There's 1,000-gallon tank in there of water.
Yeah.
There's goldfish in there.
Yeah, we tried tilapia. They didn't make it through the winter, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We talked to the guy that we got the tilapia from. He's like, yeah, they can handle 50 Fahrenheit as their lowest temperature. Yeah. And we never got below that. But over the winter, like just day by day, every day I went out there, there'd be another dead tilapia. They couldn't survive the temperatures.
Amazonian.
Yeah. So we just shifted to goldfish to keep the ecosystem of the pond healthy. That's
something fascinating to me, how you guys have fish in there. I'm very amazed by just including fish poop inside the cycle, because it's like the natural fertilizer,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
you use the water to fertilizer
I use it
beds.
anytime we like clean the pond, clean the water, the water fountain and filter, like all of that stuff goes into the gardens or into the dome over the winter as needed. So right now they're pretty much like hibernating. I'm not feeding or anything like that, but I mean they're just so much more hardy than the tilapia are, and I'm less concerned. It was a heartbreaking winter to watch them like die every day. So
Yeah.
it we don't kill anything here. Like we're very except for like maybe mosquitoes
Yeah.
and houseflies. So yeah, otherwise we have like a strict no kill policy.
I see.
And we try really hard to like, so again, outside this year I had an aphid infestation, red aphid infestation, and it gets like, like challenging. It's like, okay, I don't want to spray. um Other things you can do is like cut everything down and burn it. But then I'm also, when I cut it down and burn it, I'm also removing like beneficial insects, spiders, like, so, and for me, it's just like, okay, like I'm not balanced yet in regards to our system. I plant, so I seed a beneficial insect wildflower mix everywhere. Like I go through a half a kilo of seed every year, and we are definitely developing areas that are just full on wildflowers. And we are seeing like all sorts of beneficial insects. But at the same time, we are surrounded by monoculture farms. So we're the crazy people from Toronto. Like our farmer neighbors are just like, what are you guys doing over there?
It's all GMO, corn and soy.
Yeah.
I have the
So,
same problem.
it's like,
Not where I'm
yeah,
at, but where we're looking for land. I have to make sure because it's also all just monocultural land, so they look at you weird there. But thankfully, I found someone who is willing. She wants to convert her land to like currently it's monoculture, but she wants to convert it to like permaculture, integrated crop and livestock systems. So we're gonna
yeah.
experiment with stuff on her land. But yeah, I know that it's kind of socially isolating to live in a place where everybody's doing something else, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
our neighbors are adopting some of Deb's
Yeah.
practices like
Nice.
hugelculture.
Two of our
Awesome.
neighbors have now built their own hugelcultures for their personal
Yeah,
vegetable gardens.
their
Yeah.
little backyards,
Yeah.
in the midst of 50-acre
Yeah.
soy.
Yeah. Wait, I had a question
But
about the Hugo cultures. That's one of the questions I have written down. I didn't understand what that meant. What is that?
Okay, so it's I think the roots are German. It's been around for hundreds of years. So basically just taking old dead wood,
Mhm.
so meaning like, like a tree or like really large logs that have been on the ground or dead for a minimum of 2 years. I would say you don't want anything under 2 years of age because it will start to sprout again.
Mhm.
So basically, the wood is the base of your hugelkultur, and then on top of that, so I lay down. The first year we did them, I actually trenched the ground, put the wood in the ground, and built my layers up from there. Now I don't even do that just because physically speaking, like we have no equipment, no machinery. It's literally just Gabe and I, and we're getting older, and we just don't have the physical ability to start trenching huge gardens on our property. So now I lay down 2 to 3 inches of cardboard on the ground. The wood goes on top of it. I put down any prunings, branches, anything that, as long as it hasn't seeded, so like chop and drop, it all just gets layered. I do straw, then soil, more layers. Like it's basically like a lasagna
Oh yeah.
layering of organic material.
Mhm.
And they're brilliant because for a couple of different reasons. So the wood underground basically composts slowly over time. So I have like out in my gardens, wherever I've got hugels, like the soil is beautiful. Like it's just
Black,
black.
loamy.
Okay.
We had one of them 2 years ago. We like it grew morels, mushrooms.
Yeah.
So we get lots of mushrooms. So
Those
like
are those
very,
the expensive ones as well? The morels.
yeah,
Wow.
morels are quite
Wow.
Yeah,
expensive.
they're nice too with a bit of butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So
I've eaten them. It's so good. Yeah.
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 So
They're real spring treat.
the top of a morel looks kind of like a brain.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it at Whole
So
Foods, but that's awesome that it's growing.
yeah.
You're
I'll send you a link. I'll send you
okay.
a link. Hugel culture. So the other great thing about it, because it's like this hilled mound, so some of my hugels run like 20 feet,
Oh, wow.
but it's like this built up mound. It retains water.
Mm.
So I typically only have to water at the seedling stage, and then I don't have to water all summer. Like I never water. So it's great for water conservation. It creates like microclimates in between the hugel cultures.
Yeah.
So and then it's also great in regards to when you're older, not having to bend down to the ground in regards to planting, harvesting, weeding. It's actually, and you can actually like kind of plan your hugel so people like just do layers like up the side of the hugel. So the top of it, like if you have something that requires more sunlight than lower down, so people do like combination companionship planting on their hugels. So they're brilliant for that. I love the way that they look. I think they're really interesting in the garden. And
That sounds interesting. I want to see it.
yeah,
Also,
but number one, I would say is like
You
the
should
quality
take
of
a
the
drive.
soil.
You should take a drive up. I can't imagine,
oh yeah.
if Trump lets you.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually did drive
But take
often
a drive
into
up. You're only a few hours away.
yeah, I would love to, and I could help out as well, just to learn, as like a kind of volunteer work, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Is
have
that
a guest room and a bunkie you can stay in if you want.
oh, awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
because
solar powered bunkie.
yeah, I just want to learn like from different farms and like I didn't even know about the hugel culture stuff. So there's a there's a quail
Yeah,
hatchery that I visited in Essex County. So the last time I was in that part of Canada was 2 years ago. I went and bought some quail eggs. They were fertilized eggs. Then I incubated them here and
nice.
a really good hatch rate.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, it was awesome.
that's
That was
London
one of my
area.
favorite projects. Yeah. And I'm making videos on this stuff. I recorded a lot, but I haven't had time to actually make nice polished videos, which is why
Right,
this year I'm just making a video a week. I'm taking a gap year from my studies just to push out all this content that's sitting in my hard
right.
drive. But yeah,
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 I
we
love
had
that.
a guy here for 3 days from Toronto's York University from
Okay.
that permaculture program, and he came for what was his name again?
Hassan,
Has,
Hassan,
Hassan.
Hassan,
Yeah, there's
Hassan.
Hazam. Hazam.
Okay.
Yeah,
He was a Syrian guy in Canada, and I think
Oh,
he's
nice.
out in BC, in
yeah,
British Columbia now,
yeah,
out
yeah,
west.
yeah. He's
And
lovely.
he helped us build a compost pile and
The orchard.
our orchard. He cleared some land for us.
Yeah,
Like he was a real treat. Oh, and a pond, right?
yeah. We did the
An
pond.
outdoor pond,
Yeah,
which is covered up now. Yeah, he was terrific. It was fun to chat with him too.
Yeah, I would love to because it would help me learn and I'm being invited by numerous farmers right now to stay on their land, so I gotta like work it into my calendar because the lady in St. Clair Shores, same deal. She wants me to stay in a bedroom and then we're gonna build Joel Salatin style structures during the time I'm there. And she's like, yeah, you can record it so we can
right.
kind of help each other. I get to push out all this awesome content to my channel, learn a lot.
Yeah, I don't even know what a Joel Salton structure is, so
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm
Oh
curious to
yeah.
see when you put it out.
Yeah.
So
Not just him, but like there's this other Swedish farmer that she knows and she was showing me some of the blueprints of his structures and they looked even nicer because he put bicycle tires onto his structures for moving poultry and it looked amazing. It looked like something out of Star Wars. So we're gonna try to
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I build those things. And thankfully her family knows a lot about woodworking. So we got all the like her uncle's like a civil engineer. So we got all the expertise and I just the extra pair of hands would help her out. So I would
Yeah.
also love to visit your farm though, and especially just helping out with like the ecological aspects of it. Maybe the
Yeah.
hugelkultur or some composting, even the fish stuff, anything to do with the ecology aspect, I'll help out. And I'm trying to learn more about greenhouse.
Yeah. I would say that like, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm envious of your age. I really, really wish that this had been something that I had gotten into 30 years ago. So, for us, I would say like part of the challenge is at our age, like neither one of us is over 5'5".
No.
Neither one of us is over 120 pounds.
Mm.
Like it's the challenge for us is the maintenance, trying to keep up with all of it. Like I can't keep up with it all. Which again, I think is why I feel that I'm starting to transition more to a food forest mentality
Yeah.
where they are like something that just grows here natively.
Yeah.
I tried sunchokes this year. Do you know Jerusalem artichokes?
I don't know that.
No. Well,
No.
so they're similar to like basically anything that you
They're
can do.
tuber.
They're a tuber. Anything you do with a potato, you can do with a sunchoke. So you can bake them, mash them, fry them, but you can actually also eat them raw. They are native. They handle like any kind of soil, any kind of conditions, and I'm like, perfect. So I planted, I think, 45 of them. But sunchokes have something in them called inulin. And inulin can, if you're not used to them, so they tell you if you're going to start eating sunchokes or Jerusalem artichokes, you have to start slow and small and work your way up, because they can wreak havoc on your gut.
Okay.
So, but they're amazing for anyone that's dealing with like high cholesterol, heart, or that are on heart medications, have to limit like their carbohydrates. They're like a superfood. They're extremely healthy. But my very first harvest and attempt to eat them, Gabe was fine. I was in agony. Like I can't eat it.
Okay.
And so now I have like I think probably 30 sunchokes, and they can be invasive. They grow like wildfire anywhere.
Yeah.
So now
Huge tubers.
yeah, huge
Like,
tubers.
Okay.
And now
I'm
one
really
plants
curious.
5 pounds
Yeah.
of food.
yeah, like you get a bucket full from one plant.
Yeah.
And so now I've got like a whole corner dedicated on the property to these sunchokes. Can't eat them. Nobody around here knows what they are, doesn't want to buy them. And so like
Okay.
that's just one tiny aspect of like, when I say like dealing with like the whole property. So garlic is a great one. Like everybody loves garlic. Everybody buys garlic.
Mhm.
So garlic for me has become like one of my core crops to help pay for, like I will need 5 yards of triple mix for my garden supplement, like for supplementing my soil and the greenhouse. I go through 5 to 10 yards every year. So the garlic helps to pay for that. We have no staff. I have like reached out to high schools, colleges, for like co-op or volunteers or whatever. We get very little uptake on that.
Okay.
So again, we're in such a rural location. We can't afford to employ.
Yeah. Some people were going to come, but don't have a car, and you need a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, and then trying to like keep up with the property, harvest it, market it, get it out onto social media, keep up the Ecobubbles like Facebook page. Like it just, again, for one person. Gabe takes care of maintenance of all the buildings, outbuildings, lawn mowing, because we do still have lawn. And then I do predominantly all of the actual gardens, like the vegetable gardens, the orchard. And yeah, it's just
weeding alone is a nightmare,
Yeah.
yeah,
Especially in
yeah,
the hotter days, the sun is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. So as you get older,
you think, okay, today I'm going to weed, and then it rains or something interferes.
or it's like 50
So-
kilometer winds, or
Yeah.
like whatever. But and yeah, again, like I've got garlic mustard, creeping Charlie,
Oh, the
bindweed.
bindweed's terrible around here.
Bindweed is like a nightmare.
Nothing you can do about that.
No.
That.
And like garlic mustard is edible, but there's only so much garlic mustard that you can eat. And again, it's highly invasive. And I can spend like an entire week just trying to remove garlic mustard, which means that I'm not touching anything else, on the property. So again,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's like, those are some of the challenges we're dealing with. And again, as I already have said, why I'm looking to transition more to things that are just going to every spring pop up, produce a crop all on their own, naturally, natively.
I think one year though we did eat something from our garden every single day.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah.
So even if we don't sell anything, it's not our prime motivation to sell things, but we are enjoying some of it. Hey, remember that year?
Yeah.
I think it was last.
Even last year, like we're constantly like peas and
I think
garlic
the year before we really ate a lot.
Arugula, yeah. So yeah, and again, like I'm in a place where I would love to create a community, kind of like trade.
Oh yeah.
So like people drop off excess whatever and they can take in trade for that. To me, it's like I love that idea. Again, where we're located, getting people to come all the way out here from wherever they're coming from, for the sake of like a basket of whatever. It's one year we got like somebody was giving me like the giant zucchinis. I had like 8 giant. What am I gonna do? Like, and they were taking like tomatoes.
Were they green zucchinis or?
Yeah. Okay. We don't like zucchini that much.
Do you guys ever interplant nitrogen fixers to add nitrogen into the soil?
Yes.
Like peas, beans,
yes.
legumes? You do? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I do tons of beans. I do tons of peas. Yeah. So, and again, like we're not big on beans. Like we don't eat a lot of beans.
Yeah.
So, but like I mean, scarlet runner beans are like one of the favorites of hummingbirds. So in order to attract hummingbirds, I do a ton of like scarlet runner beans.
They have a nice flower too.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Okay. And again, it's soil fixing. So it's kind of like it works for using it for those purposes.
Would you two say that like this lifestyle, you're enjoying it still more than like the lifestyle in front of computer screens, like how you were?
Absolutely. For me, absolutely.
I miss restaurants.
Okay.
And I also miss Toronto has a diverse population of people.
Yeah, it's like that in Michigan too. Like I stayed at multiple farms, and one of them was in Wolverine, Michigan, which is like a 3.5-hour drive straight north. It's just below the Upper Peninsula, and it's a wild place. Like there's black bears, there's some wolves actually, believe it or not, in the northern Lower Peninsula. Even though they say there's not, the locals would beg to,
differ.
Yeah, there's like. This one guy saw a wolf cross the road, and he said he thought it was a deer because of how big it was. And
wow.
It was not a coyote. So there's like coyote wolf hybrids up there. It's a fascinating place. I love it up there. Every time I drive up there, I see a minimum of 2 bald eagles on the drive up. Like just
we have tons of bald eagles. Yeah, we have tons of bald eagles.
Families.
Yeah, they're very territorial. They've got a family group. We have coyotes. We hear them. We never see them because out here, like they'll just shoot, the farmers just shoot them if they see them. We have fox, skunk, raccoons. The raccoons don't make it long out here because of the distemper. Or roadkill.
Hawks,
Yep,
eagles,
hawks, deer.
turkey buzzards,
Yeah.
of course.
So, like, considering how developed it is, like in regards to it being just these huge, massive monoculture farms with like one crop, I'm actually impressed with some of the biodiversity. But again, I'm like, so when, as I said, when we first got here, it was just grass. There was nothing on this half acre other than it being tree lined. But it was just grass. And like the very first year that the gardens were in place, like we saw a huge explosion in frogs and like insects, like different kinds of insects.
Blowflies.
Yeah, fireflies. We had, and then, but this past summer, for whatever reason, we're seeing a huge drop. So, which concerns me.
Same with birds.
And same with birds, which again, like I'm concerned, like avian flu is wiping out like wild bird populations.
We're on a migratory path, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So we've seen a massive drop, and same with bats. So like we've got bat, like we like every year we just like cross our fingers and pray that we've still got bats, and I think we've got two.
Maybe three,
maybe
but two
three
for sure.
But again, like
have you
white nose
bat houses to attract them?
We have,
but they haven't taken yet.
They haven't taken, and it's just it's so white nose fungus has like completely decimated the North American bat population.
The brown bat.
Brown bat has been like they think close to 90% of the bats are gone.
Quebec, they're all gone.
Yeah. So again, like no matter what I do to create like this safe haven of space that is like biodiverse, and I'm doing native plantings, trying to support like native insects, butterflies, birds, you know, I'm dealing with like a much bigger problem in regards to avian flu, white nose fungus, climate change. My farmers all spray their herbicides, and you know, so again, like that's another challenge of living out in a monoculture, agricultural area, is that I'm dealing, it's like I nearly sometimes feel like I'm inviting, native bumblebees and whatever to my property, and then I'm, potentially leading them to their death because they're potentially getting sprayed by drift coming onto the property. So I try to build up my fence line as much as possible to protect the interior. But yeah,
we've never tested, but how do you even do that? So
well, one good news is I did notice, like in the video, like your lawn, you said it was just grass when you first got it. I saw it was like full of dandelions. So that's good. Yeah. Like a lot of improvement there for the pasture.
I don't like when they get into the formal gardens though.
Yeah. You could eat those, right? Dandelion leaves.
Yeah. Actually, so
my parents did that. We're Italians, and they used to go out
like
into I like bitter. We love bitter.
Yeah.
We love bitter greens.
Yeah.
So
up here, no one eats bitter greens. Like I was growing like arugula and like mustard mixes, and everybody that was buying salad from me was like, "Oh no, we don't like that. Like, we want like iceberg lettuce." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not growing iceberg lettuce." Like it's like so nutritionally not good for it. Like it doesn't do anything for you, iceberg lettuce. But again, like I'm dealing with a very bland palate out here. So even that can it's meat and potatoes type mentality. And So, you know, like they're scared to try new things.
Yeah,
And
that's one
so,
thing that drives me nuts. It's like we need to learn how to have more of an open palate, I think,
yeah,
Oh
especially when
yeah,
what you're eating is bad for you. Like,
yeah,
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 100%,
in the
yeah. So,
monoculture
100%.
in the monocultural rural Michigan area, it's the same way. Like they're the people that are the main consumer base for the processed stuff, and all the health people, they're located in the bigger cities. It's the same
yeah,
way here.
yeah, yeah,
But
Yeah, same here.
hopefully, I think it's changing. I think the demand is going up for healthier foods as people are learning. Like as time goes on, our health is just going down if we continue to eat that way. So I think it's in a good
yeah,
trajectory. It's just not fully there yet.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, well, to me, it's like I like will I give it away for free. Like I will literally just post like, you know, last year in the fall, I'm like I have arugula like coming out of my ears.
yeah,
So like anybody that wants it, like come and get it. So because again, to me, it's like I am again, we're blessed. Like I don't need to do this to make a living, like financially. So this for me is more a learning experience. And I just have always believed that this is how farming should be.
yeah.
That there it that like I don't believe in monoculture as a
Same
business
here.
model. Like I think that's we have gone so far off the rails in in regards to what's wrong with um, the planet. Like when you look at these monster farms
Right.
with like one crop, it's just so wrong. Like
Right.
they have major issues out here with like soil erosion and the health of their soil.
And a
Yeah, it's
lot of
going
it's
down.
not even for food, it's for jet fuel.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah. Like they
each
grow corn
harvest.
for jet fuel.
Yeah, each harvest there's like a lower profit margin because they're dumping more chemicals in the soil and the food's getting
Yeah,
less nutritious and I mean it's decimating for biodiversity. It's like one of the biggest causes for biodiversity loss, if not the biggest. All the
yeah,
rainforest, the palm oil, and here in America,
yes,
corn and soy
yeah,
in America. Yeah, but
yeah. We were in Costa Rica 3 years ago, 4 years.
You were.
I the palm grow like the palm
Oh, then it
farms
was 10 years ago we were
where
there.
it's just you drive for miles and
Miles,
miles and
miles of
miles of
palm.
palm trees. Like it's just like that's all there is palm trees, these like
yeah,
huge palm farms. And I'm just like, that is like it's for me sad. Like Costa Rica has been so amazing at biodiversity and protecting their ecosystem and their rainforests and seeing these palm farms was just like, yeah, mind blowing.
and there's
But
not like there's no animals there because they spray it all, right? Okay,
yep,
yeah, that's sad.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, even processing the palm oil creates pollution
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they burn it, they have to cook it. So,
yeah,
yeah, well,
yeah.
anyway,
How are you feeling about? So I don't know if you support Trump or against Trump, but to me it's like hearing that he's like drill baby drill and removing like all of these like environmental protections of like all these different parklands and
yeah.
it's you know it to me it's just yeah I what we do here I hope that we inspire
Hmm.
people. Like I believe everybody, even if you've only got a tiny backyard, I
Hmm.
believe anybody can create an eco bubble. Like to people think the eco bubble is the geodesic dome. No, that it's just part. Like to me, like this is our bubble. This whole property is our eco bubble. And so
we're in control of it.
this is well, and not even in control of it,
Well,
but
I mean, at least of the
yeah,
area.
but like we say like anything on this property like we're responsible for helping to take care of it and we're responsible for creating as much biodiversity and safe haven and good growing practices and trying to be as like planting as much native vegetation as possible for what's typical for this area. And
Right.
all I can do is hope to inspire others
Yeah.
like and I know that I do like when they come in there I'm like I haven't watered like it's been 85 90 degrees uh like July and August and I haven't had to water once
Mhm.
because of the hugel culture, and because it's
Wow.
native and it can handle like the temperatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that for some farmer neighbors, they're like, wow, like that's impressive, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of positives, I think, even though there's gonna always be negatives. But um, yeah, with Trump's presidency, one good thing is at least is that nature can always heal itself. So maybe after he's gone, we can like rebuild. And because I think there's some really good examples of farms that use no chemicals. Not too many, but like the ones I am talking about are like White Oak Pastures in Georgia
Mhm,
and
mhm.
Joel Salatin's farm. But those two are like the biggest in terms of they scaled it like in a mass scale. Because
Yeah,
White Oak Pastures is like a 3,500 acre farm, and then Joel Salatin is 550. So those are like those two farms are leading the charge of like the regenerative farming movement. And then there's
yeah.
Gabe Brown. Are you guys familiar with Gabe Brown's work?
No.
I
Up
would.
here it would be is it Turtle Island?
Yeah.
I think Turtle Island would be the biggest. Um,
Okay.
yeah, Turtle Island would be one of the biggest farms in this area that is working with regenerative practices in agricultural, and I think it has a strong indigenous partnership as well.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah,
But Gabe Brown, he's like the god of soil health in America because he's just really been testing different crop rotations on his he's got open plains, but he knows
yeah,
about soil microbiology at such a deep level, and he's got these long lectures just free available on YouTube that I feel like you guys could actually apply some of the stuff right away because you already have a lot of situation going on there. But yeah,
yeah.
it's really inspiring listening to him. Um, but I wanted to ask you
Gabe,
guys,
Gabe, like,
Gabe Brown,
yeah,
Gabe
Gabe.
Brown.
Yep, yeah, Gabe, just like your name. So Gabe Brown,
Yeah,
okay.
he's he's been farming for like his whole life, but he also went against the grain and started doing things more naturally in an area where that was all monoculture. And
yeah,
he loves that. He loves the fact that he's different from everybody else. He's just a great speaker. There's a documentary coming
yeah,
out where he's like the protagonist of it, with some Hollywood names. I can send you that link, but he's like
mm,
really inspirational because
yeah,
it's just information every second with him, and he delivers it in such a. He's the guy I
yeah,
learned about how plant roots have root exudates with carbon, liquid carbon, carbonic acid coming out of the roots, and then
yeah,
nitrogen. He explains nitrogen fixing plants and their relationship with other plants and the fungi, the mycelium in such a way that it's amazing.
yeah.
He's
Mycelium's huge. Like to me, it's like that's definitely been an area of interest for me in the last couple of years. Like I am now like a no dig. I try like to not dig anything.
Mhm.
I don't want to disturb the soil because I'm realizing that there's a whole network under there that every time you're disturbing it, you're causing problems. So
Nature's internet.
yeah, yeah,
And then
nature's internet is a great way to say it.
yeah, it is because of all the exchanges happening and the arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi, how it feeds the plants and stuff. It's amazing. And he explains it all. And have you thought of putting cover crops to keep the top layer of that soil damp and moist, and then planting
We
around?
do, yeah, we do cover crop.
Okay, gotcha. And then do
Yep,
you have
yeah,
any,
I totally do cover crop. Yeah,
okay. Do you have any like
you cut
livestock
out.
manure? Oh, do you have any livestock manure as fertilizer into that soil?
Oh,
Yes, so
some
I
neighbors, but no livestock ourselves. We keep talking about getting ducks or something, but we
Yeah.
haven't.
yeah,
We
we
haven't.
haven't figured out how where we're gonna house them and who takes care of them when we if we so as we're like Gabe's retired, we're getting older. It's like we're trying to travel more.
Mhm.
So again, it's like, we just actually got back from 3 weeks in Panama, and it
Okay.
was the first time we've been away for that long because you have to have someone here to not only take care, like we've got four cats and a dog. I
Oh,
used to manage a vet clinic, so we have
oh
always
yeah.
have lots of pets.
I love
Um,
wildlife
and
myself. Yeah. I have
Yeah.
an house as well.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We've got 5 right now. At our highest, we had 7. It's a lot to take care of. We don't have kids though, so that's the balance.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to have someone that's going to take care of the greenhouse. And so this is our longest trip that we've done, where we had someone stay here. Um, and so yeah, it's like we've talked about livestock. It's just, again, it becomes something else that needs to be taken care of if we decide to go away, or travel.
Or
And
even with all our other stuff.
yeah, and on top of like not being able to keep up with what we've got. But yeah, so I purchase horse manure. Like I try to get green manure anytime that I can. But out here it's hard to come by.
Yeah.
So otherwise I will like I've got a pile of chicken manure outside of my fence that I'm letting age. And then I've done cow manure, same thing. I have to let it sit and age.
Okay.
I've done hot compost. So last year I did hot compost where you can mature it much faster.
Yeah. It remains hot.
But yeah, again,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've also
tarping,
yeah, I've also tried to like integrate like chicken poop into my garden, but like she handles the garden stuff. I handle
yeah,
the chicken, poultry. Like I've raised chickens from like this big every year, and ducklings and turkey chicks up to full size, and it's been awesome to see. Like they don't
cool.
even they're like playing, they're chasing bugs, they're picking at dandelions. Like it's like they're out in nature. What you get to see,
Yeah,
they're never stressed and
yeah,
breathing hard or anything, unless it's super hot. And on those days, they go under the shade that I provided, or I miss them. But it's like it's really just an ecosystem. It's like you're viewing wildlife, and when people come here, they're like amazed.
yeah,
Yeah, that's my jam, like the livestock integration, and then the plant stuff. I
yeah,
have to
yeah,
do that as well, but you can't know it all. It's just infinitely complex. I'm trying to find like a specialty, which
yeah,
yeah, I want to specialize in rotational livestock, so poultry right now, but eventually my dream is to do sheep and cattle on pasture, but you need like the land for that. So
yeah.
we're working our way up there. Thankfully, this lady Carolyn,
Yeah, have you been watching any of the in England they call it rewilding,
yep, I'm
and
following.
they're very much doing that. Yeah, where they're using livestock and just like basically like rotating
Oh yeah.
through pastures
If you
and
know of any,
rewilding in England, which is brilliant.
yeah, if you know of any specific farms or links, could you send me those? Because I'm always, and I know about rewilding in the UK, especially the KNEP estate, KNEPP NEP estate. They're doing an
Okay.
insane project right now, which that's about
Yeah.
the only farm I know of. But I have done a podcast with someone in the UK who, same situation. She lives on 1 acre in like very northern England, and she wants to make a food forest. So people
Yeah.
are like gravitating toward that, and they're realizing how bad monoculture is, I think, in the Western world, and which is
Yeah.
good. Yeah. But I would love to do like a cattle operation on pasture because to me that's so simple compared to like if you're trying to master it all. If you just focus on the health of a pasture, it's just like rotational paddocks, intensive rotations, and you get to
Yeah.
see like the beauty of nature unfold if you treat the pasture the way, because the pastures evolved alongside ungulates. They evolved in
Yeah.
tandem. So it's like you can just like coax it into producing like endless meat, just like while it increases the carbon and soil organic matter in the soil and
Yeah.
biodiversity of the plants on the pasture. And
And
I
there's some combination of cows and then like chickens. Uh, I forget now what's that? There's a methodology of pasture with cows, but I think you need chickens for some other aspect of that health,
like
right?
break up
Like
the cow patties. Like that's what
maybe that. Yeah, there's some symbiotic relationship and
oh
Have you
yeah.
seen Kiss the Ground?
Yeah, I watched it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
So
awesome.
I really enjoyed that. And again, to me, it's like it's always amazing to me how little farmers know about their soil.
Yeah, because they
It's like,
never.
I mean,
Even around
yeah,
here,
like
they're shut.
like generations
Yeah.
of farmers, like their father, their grandfather, their great grandfather, all been farming like the same
Yeah,
100, 200, 500 acres.
we were never taught
And
that.
they've never taught it. And, and I watch it every year, like watch them like churning the soil, and it's just like releasing so much CO2.
And they go to college for agriculture, still don't know.
Yeah, and
They just
thankfully,
they
uh,
concept.
yeah, thankfully it's kind of shifting, at least in Michigan. Like Michigan State's agricultural department, they're really pushing more on learning about soil now, which I learned like a few months ago, and I was really happy to hear that. They're not just teaching
Yeah,
you about business and how to dump chemicals
yeah,
and uh
yeah.
but yeah, it's the same situation with like kind of like the medical industry. They don't teach you anything about preventative stuff. It's all about prescriptions and memorizing prescriptions.
Reactive. Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, I think it's shifting
Absolutely.
back.
We
Yeah.
have about our area. We're I guess it's the a continental forest. Now I forget the name.
Arboreal.
No, it has a name. Anyway, we have about I mean, this used to be a forest, and now it's a
Oh, you
monoculture
mean
farm
our
area.
topsoil? The loam?
Well, the topsoil is about a foot and a half, and then there's gravel under that. It's pretty rich. It's pretty good, but over time with deep tilling and all that, you're just constantly turning. Like Deb, tell them about the
Oh yeah. So we
sands.
we had a big storm coming in, so we have to watch the weather very closely here because it can change in a heartbeat. So it was like middle of summer. Gabe was building a barbecue on the back deck, and there was a storm coming, and I was watching it on the radar, and I said to him, like, okay, like you got like 15 minutes. Okay, you got 10 minutes. Okay, you got 5 minutes. And then all I was watching it at the front of the house, and it basically just sucked so kitty corner to us, there's a big field. They had just tilled the entire field, so it was just dry dirt sitting on top. And this storm came through and just sucked it up into the cloud. And I'm watching like this tornado forming like kitty corner.
Yeah.
And but again, like every year,
While it was literally the field was rising into the
air, and every year around
not
here,
like a dirt devil, like the whole 50-acre field,
yeah, just going up. And they're constantly, they're constantly cutting trees down here, like to get another 3 rows of corn in, and like a one corn plant, they get what, like
3
cents for each corn plant. So like 3 rows is like, I think we worked it out. It's like $25.
Yeah.
And they're taking out like 100-year-old trees in order to get in like another 3 rows of corn.
Massacring the limbs of trees.
Yeah. And again, like, as I said, we deal with like these crazy winds out here because all the trees are gone.
Mhm.
There are no tree line. Like they removed even like storm break tree lines. They just like here we can see for probably 2 kilometers before there's a tree. So the wind, there's nothing to stop the wind.
They used to put tree lines up to demarcate property.
Oh,
but now they've removed those, and there's a couple of steel posts.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah. I also
like when I get a honeybee here, I'm like, how far away did you fly from to get here? Because there's no flowers between me and wherever you came from. It's just all corn or soybeans. It's just like there's no flowers.
Yeah.
So
there's just like a pocket of nature, which is what you guys are creating in the middle of a lot of like a monoculture land.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you said there's a drop in biodiversity. Maybe it's just cyclical, and next summer or spring there'll be more of it, because that's how it is here.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, like
fingers crossed. Like monarchs are now in like their monarchs are critical, endangered. So like they're So because we get a lot of monarchs here, but
I worked at as a volunteer at this at a nature center really close to where I live. Awesome nature center. They have owls, ambassador owls. So I was their owl caretaker.
Yeah.
And my manager there, she keeps this like net of caterpillars, monarch caterpillars, and she releases monarch butterflies like every year. So it's really cool
Yeah.
stuff you can do, and there's an educational component to it. And I also started doing public presentations on soil health and regenerative farming. So this is stuff I'm just diving into. It's scary for me, like you said, like once you're like stuck to a location, you know. So I'm kind of just still not tying myself to a location yet. I'm just trying to find a
Yeah.
way to finance this dream because, like I told you, I want to do pasture. I want to do like rotational livestock, and then get some
Yeah.
crop.
I was reading about your idea of like eco villages, which I think that's amazing. You
Right.
know, like I was talking to York University about like some of these farms, like if you were to like purchase 100 acres.
Mhm.
So 100 people purchase like 100 acres and divide that into like 1 acre plots. And,
Amazing.
how amazing that would be in regards to biodiversity, like creating farms that are broken down and everybody's got like an acre. But
Yeah.
that's actually against the law here. You're not even allowed to do that.
It's difficult to sever property.
So, but
Okay.
I love the concept of a eco village, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm envious of your age.
Yeah.
That I really wish that I was 30 years younger and launching on
I would love to help you guys
a
out though.
similar journey.
Yeah, whenever I can, I would love to
Yeah,
come up there. Yeah. I'll do some like the
you
most
are always welcome.
backbreaking stuff. Yeah, like just mundane
Yeah.
work where it's just like mindless work. I'll do that. But I just want to help you guys
uh,
out during the time I'm there. Yeah. Uh,
yeah, you are welcome anytime. We're going away, I think, the first 2.5 weeks of August, we're gone. But yeah, anytime that you want to come up, as Gabe said, we've got a bunkie outside. It's solar powered. So you have like kind of your own space.
okay.
And it's great. It's got double doors and you get to wake up with the sun coming up in the morning.
Oh,
But we also have guest bedroom and guest bathroom upstairs in the house. We've got a great big old schoolhouse here.
wow. Yeah,
And
it's awesome because the lady Carolyn who's invited me to her farm, 120 acres that she inherited, is in St. Clair Shores, which is 57 minutes in the same direction where you guys are at. So maybe I can do like a few days at her place doing the Joe Salatin structures and then just make my way to Canada.
Does that go to, is that near Sarnia?
Uh,
Or
I don't know
not
what's wrong.
Sarnia, Windsor?
No, it's
Are you heading to Windsor?
like, where would your border crossing be?
usually it's Windsor, but where she's at, I want to see if I can cross at a more northern area, if it's possible. I've never done it, so yeah. If not, it's
Right.
Windsor.
Then you got to go around. Then you got to go around the lake, I think. So
Mhm.
it's tricky. But yeah, you got to look it up, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I my year's pretty much open. I just have the month of September and a little bit early October. I won't be here. I'll be back in East Africa during that time, recording content with the Maasai. And because I was there last summer with my university, I got to meet a lot of scientists and tribe members, Maasai tribe. So I'm really looking forward to that trip because those guys are the best cattle herders on the planet. Like they've done it the longest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
So it's like I'm
yeah,
honored
yeah,
to be
yeah.
able to record content and help them move cows on the landscape. So I've done it already, but this time around
Yeah.
I'll be a lot more relaxed. It's not a university expedition. It's just I'm going there with James
Yeah.
Madelli of the Wild Nature Institute. It's just us two. And then during my time in Kenya, it'll be just me and a few other scientists that I met on my trip.
That's
So
amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing. I'm
we
so
were
jealous.
yeah. Well, yeah, we were camping there last summer and we were camping in tents in the African bush. So like every around 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
at night, you'd hear a clan of hyenas pass through your camp, and it was so awesome. I was never scared at any
Yeah.
because they were distant, like 40 feet.
Yeah.
40, yeah, you could hear them whooping and stuff at night.
Yeah.
And then lion roars off in the distance. It's such a
Like
magical
coyotes.
landscape. It's amazing. It's like there's no
Yeah.
comparison in the US. So it's like once you go there once, you just kind of like start saving money to go back. Once you do that, it's like
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, that's amazing. Yeah, it sounds like you've done a lot of traveling. So yeah, good
yeah,
on you.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
we're finally starting to travel more. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's really good, but it's also like I haven't made much money yet. That's a trade-off. So I have to like now
Yeah.
really push out videos because that's my goal to make money, YouTube, and then uh networking with more people like to create my eco village vision. Because like you said, it takes a village, like two people. It's very hard. It's possible, but the farmer I'm working with, same situation. It's Wendy. It's her and her husband. That's it, and they have 80 acres.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's crazy is
Yeah. I can't even
finally,
imagine.
yeah, they're finally getting success though. After like years of struggle, they finally got their farm to table restaurant set up, and they're dealing with the same issues you guys are. Like, there's no demand really for chemical-free natural food, but they've worked their way to creating that demand, I guess, because
Well,
they got the farm to table.
and yeah, well, another, I mean, Canada's a little bit different than the United States in regards to level of regulation. So even like if I wanted to sell my arugula to a restaurant, I can't
Okay.
because we're not inspected
We're not
by
certified or inspected.
we would have to then be inspected by like public health or whatever
Yeah.
in
Curious
order
you
so I can't just even though it's like organic pesticide free like herbicide free everything free
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to sell it to a restaurant. I'm
Yeah.
not allowed to sell it to a grocery store.
You could get inspected though, right? Or is that difficult?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but again that means like a certain level of again, as one person, how much am I producing to make it worth it for me to put myself through all the hoops and
Yeah.
paperwork and inspections and whatever in regards to be able to sell like $50 worth of arugula to a restaurant. Like it's just for me, it's like I'm not at a place, and as I said, like I'm not in this to make money. I would far rather like do like a sharing program with my local community.
Yeah.
I would like to support people that are dealing with food insecurity. Just
Mhm.
like come
yeah.
and come and take it.
We gave away food a couple of
We
years
gave away like we've given away a ton of food,
during
and
COVID.
and to me it's more of an educational and a personal journey of just like creating a space where I am supporting nature instead of
Yeah.
Yeah, we always say we like to leave things better than we find them.
yeah.
Right. I think
Yeah.
what you guys are doing is absolutely like fantastic. Like there's nothing and nothing I could find wrong with what you're doing. Like it's making the world better. You're doing something you want to do. So I think it's just a matter of like sticking through the hard times and then, the good
Yeah.
times will come but it's
Yeah.
amazing.
And well, and again, it's like it's not it's not a financial venture anymore. Like, at the 5 years ago, yes, I had it in my mind that I was going to create like enough money off of it to have an income. And now it's just like, no, that is probably, it may be interesting to see like in another 5 years once the food forest grows whether I'm going to have more of an annual crop to offer for sale. But right now, yeah, this is not a financially viable business model
Well,
of it.
we traded blackberries for hemming my jeans.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah. So yeah, we're looking to
Trade and barter.
trade and barter system. So it's
okay.
interesting. Yeah.
I had a few other questions, but it's gonna be hard for me to find oh, here's one. What percentage of the food you grow? I mean, what percentage of the food that you eat comes from what you grow?
Depends on the time of year. So I would say like in the summer, like in spring, summer, fall, we're eating tons. Like I buy very little vegetables. Like I don't buy tomatoes, I don't buy garlic. Like garlic lasts us all year round now.
Mhm.
So like I store it correctly. So
Greens and
greens, radishes,
herbs,
pea, herb,
parsley,
yeah, like
Mhm.
tomatoes,
some onion,
fruits, yeah,
potatoes one
onions,
year.
yeah. So
Uh,
I don't know. I like
it's
it's
a hard question to answer by number.
Yeah,
But
it's
like I said, we can eat something from there every day from spring to fall
okay.
yeah,
if we want.
I see.
yeah. Like I don't buy vegetables. I don't buy vegetables from the grocery store from like June to October, I would say.
Okay.
Like I don't buy it. So I would say like
Maybe like broccoli.
yeah, maybe broccoli would be like
Okay.
the only thing I would buy from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Because I've had very little luck with broccoli out here due to pests.
You know,
Mhm.
But
I learned that some plants occupy a lot of real estate, like cabbage or broccoli or
yeah, like one broccoli
roughly.
plant, you get one head of broccoli and it
Yeah,
takes up like 3 feet in the garden.
yeah,
So
that's
it's
tricky
Surface
on
area.
small properties. Some of those plants are huge.
yeah.
Okay.
So
And
but yeah, like we eat our own fig. We had two fig harvests from our fig. We have a huge fig tree in the dome that
okay.
is fruit producing, so that's amazing.
And the koi
Uh,
fish are still in the dome right now?
yep,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah, they're
Heavily pruned this year.
yeah,
The fig,
the fig,
fig.
yeah. No, but you said are the goldfish in the dome right now? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, I said koi fish, but are they goldfish?
There's some koi, there's some goldfish, and we've probably got, well, there's definitely breeding that goes on. So I probably have some hybrids in there as well. So
I,
the biggest ones are like getting up to the 3 pound mark.
Mhm. Oh,
And I'm set, again, like I don't know at a certain, like it's 1,000 gallons. I don't know what's gonna happen when, like, I don't know what to do when I get too many goldfish in there. Like,
I think we got to get rid of some now.
like I
yeah.
can't kill them. Like I don't kill anything. So yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with them or where they're gonna go.
Yeah,
But
if you could find like a way to throw them back into the ecosystem somehow, like, but you would need some predator to eat them. So that's what
yeah,
I'm trying to establish with my eco village vision. Like even for like when we have our livestock guardian dogs in the vision I'm creating, I want all their food to come from the cows that we produce. If that's
right.
like I know people say there's a lot of problems with that, but I'm very open-minded with regards to going about it the most natural way possible. And if they have like a raw diet of nothing but raw meat, bones, organs, that would create a
Yeah,
healthier dog. Not for every
yeah,
breed, but for the livestock guardian dogs.
yeah.
So are your guys' dogs just indoor dogs or they do stuff out?
No, so we have a blue tick coon hound
Mhm.
named Archer, who is basically right now like a 2.5-year-old dingaling.
Okay.
He's like a teenage boy. So he's great in regards to protecting our property.
Okay.
And so at the same time, he would be a challenge, like said, talking about getting ducks.
Mhm.
He's a bit of a challenge. He's got a strong prey drive.
Yeah.
But we also are living in an area where, believe it or not, there's actually a high incidence of property thefts. There's a definite like meth problem in the area, so you get a lot of B&Es and people coming onto the property to steal.
Mhm.
So his main job is to protect the property. And if you've ever heard a blue tick coonhound, they don't bark; they bay at the top of their lungs. It's quite alarming.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
so, but yeah. So at the same time, I have moments where I question the wisdom of having that breed on our property because he's not overly friendly to squirrels, chipmunks,
Hmm.
raccoons. Like he like bays and he wants to like
That might be a
hunt
good
it.
thing though,
So
because can't the skunks and raccoons eat some of your produce on the land? But I don't know.
Well, again, I guess I'm kind of outside the box in regards to my ideas to plant enough that I can still like harvest whatever I need for us,
Yeah.
but also share with nature.
Yeah, I also
Because skunks eat grubs out of like they will get rid of bad grubs in your grass and soil. Things that are causing like root problems to your vegetable gardens.
Possums eat ticks.
Yeah, possums eat ticks. Like, to me, it's like I want to mimic nature as much as possible. So meaning like if this was a half acre and there were no humans here, what wildlife would visit this space? And all of
That's
those
a great
creatures
mentality.
would live. Yeah.
That's kind of what
All
I'm
of those
trying to
creatures
do.
would,
Yeah.
yeah, create like a natural space and eat off of it at the same point. Like,
Yeah.
that is basically.
It can be a problem, like rabbits can destroy.
Oh yeah, I have voles. We had chipmunks in a hugelculture that like they had like created their entire burrow system inside the hugel. So like underground. So like I literally would be like trying to harvest or weed, and I can hear them like yelling at me underground. It was hilarious. But like for the most part, if you're keeping a balanced ecosystem, they won't do that much damage, right? So
And your
yeah.
dog probably helps keep them a little bit at bay, not totally gone. Like you're still offering them some access, but they're not fully.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They just gotta move fast. The red squirrels, they're pretty alert to the hound now, but
And
yeah,
rabbits
it
probably.
makes the concept of getting ducks a little bit more complicated because I'm not sure what he would do to a duck.
Yeah. At a certain point, is it difficult to train a dog to not prey on the livestock? Like, is that something that needs to be put into their heads when they're puppies? Or is it like too
Yeah,
late?
we'd have
Yeah.
to socialize
Yeah.
the ducks,
Yeah.
maybe ducklings,
Mhm.
just get them to
Yeah.
not eat one.
Yeah, no, we would have to basically like watch them like a hawk. So again, like, breeds are bred for certain things. So like a Great Pyrenees is an amazing livestock dog, right? Like they are the number one breed
That's
for
the ones you have.
protecting
Yeah.
their livestock. Yeah, that it's just what they have been bred for hundreds of years. So
And ours is a hunter.
ours is a hunting dog. We don't hunt, but he's a hunting dog. So, a blue tick coonhound, a coonhound was bred to tree raccoons. That's
Okay.
what they were bred to do, was
They
to
chase
tree raccoons. And, and raccoons are hunted in parts of the southern states. We don't do that here. But raccoons, I prefer not on the property. They can be quite aggressive. They carry a lot of diseases. They carry a lot of parasites. So
Not really beneficial.
they're not beneficial.
I had
Um,
a big raccoon kill one of my chickens the first year I kept chicken.
Yeah.
It was a full-size chicken, and I just heard it at about 12:15 a.m. at night, like some ruckus. And then I went out with my flashlight, and thankfully I caught him before he killed all of my chickens. But it was like a 30-pound
Yeah.
raccoon. And I'm in the same mentality. Like I don't believe in killing stuff. Like it's for me, the solution was so simple. Like you have to put negative association so it doesn't come back. So I just made a homemade pepper spray with lukewarm water and cayenne pepper, sprayed him with that, and he ran off and he never came back. I never had a chicken death after that.
Yeah.
I didn't have to kill him.
Yeah.
Like people are not open.
Yeah. You have to protect your livestock, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Like we had a mother skunk with 5 baby skunks live in our woodshed this summer, and we totally allowed that until one of the babies got trapped in the backyard, and Archer went after him. Archer got full on sprayed, and then it's like, okay, well, we obviously can't be in a situation where the dog's getting sprayed by a skunk every day because it's just it's
Yeah.
a lot of work to get them clean. So then we had to like start basically like, setting it up so that it was not friendly for her to stay in our woodshed. I have trapped and adopted out over 50 cats and kittens off this property in the last 5 years because people just dump them out here, or the farmers are not spaying and neutering their barn cats. So we end up with, and again, cats are an invasive species. They kill birds, they kill rodents, they kill rabbits, they kill frogs, squirrels, like they kill
Billions
everything.
organisms.
And so again, it's like I can't like I have to trap and get them adopted out because otherwise I'm not going to have a single bird, squirrel, or anything left on my property because of all the feral cats in the area, right? So it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to hurt anything, but I also realize like, yeah, you need like a healthy balance and you have to protect your livelihood. So
Yeah. And
anyway.
taking care of animals is you can translate all the stuff you learned from being a veterinarian over to that, right? When taking care of kittens.
I managed a vet clinic. I wasn't a veterinarian. I managed 6 veterinarians, so I ran the business side of things.
I see.
But yes, I have obviously like over 15 years learned a lot medically in regards to animals and like this past summer. So we lost one of our cats. June 1st, got hit by a truck. It was horrific. We heard it and found her. So this year, like Gabe has built a catio. Do you know what a catio is?
No.
So it's a structure
Catio?
attached to the house covered in chicken wire. It's basically like the biggest chicken coop you've ever seen. But it's like 3 stories. So basically like our cats will no longer have access to the outdoor, like they can go out in the catio, which is outside the house,
Yeah.
and like lounge in there, but they no longer have access to the property.
There are window entrances into it.
Yeah, we have like 2 windows in the house where they can go out into the catio. And yeah, to me, it's like anyone that says I want to let my cat outdoors is not thinking about the rest of nature outdoors because cats are killing machines.
Yeah.
So and you cannot train a cat to not kill. So it will kill everything on the property if you give it a chance.
Yeah. And in terms of dog breeds, do you know much about like good farm dog? Like, because we're in the market. Forget what is that? Catio. Oh,
That's the catio.
nice, nice.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
They
Our
get,
our cats love it.
they
Yeah.
get in and out through 2 windows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
In regards
Oh,
to dogs,
yeah, like livestock guardian dogs. Wendy, the farmer I worked with, she has 2 great, like she has 3 Great Pyrenees and 1 Anatolian Shepherd. And the Great Pyrenees are awesome with
yeah,
their livestock. They'll even like put little chicks in their mouths and carry them over. They're so gentle with the
yeah,
chicks and stuff. But the Anatolian is not that friendly. She's more of a guard dog. She's very alert,
yeah,
with more kind of like security purposes. And that pack of the 3
yeah,
Pyrenees and the 1 Anatolian, they work so well for her. And it's just that stuff's fascinating to me because that's nature as well. That's like pack mentality, but it's also integrated with human livelihood. But it's very difficult, if
yeah,
you don't train them correctly, if you don't know what you're doing. So that's also like an area I'm trying
yeah,
to get more involved in. So like not like immediately, but slowly dip my toes into like that world of livestock guardian dogs. Because they're
yeah,
hard to find somebody who's willing to teach you all that. It's like kind of like nobody really wants to just do that for some reason. It's like you got to pry your way in
yeah.
there kind of deal. But yeah, we're in the
Yeah,
market.
I mean, honestly, training a dog, like, I mean, so one of my closest friends is a puppy trainer,
Oh,
based out of Toronto,
mm,
and she trained like we had a dog 15 years ago. She trained that dog as a puppy, and she always said to me, she's like, you can either have a bulletproof dog that you do the work when they're puppies, and you do the training, and it's like it can be nearly a full-time job some days in regards
yeah,
to puppy training.
yeah, for
Um,
like a year, right? Or like a
but
year.
you end up with a bulletproof dog.
Okay.
But she's like, if you don't do the work and you don't do the training, you're going to apologize for your dog for the rest of its life.
Yeah.
And so she's like, shortcuts make for long journeys, is what she said to us. Shortcuts make for long journeys. So you can either do the work now and have a great dog, or don't do the work and you're going to have a disaster. Like dogs, like the number of dogs that are euthanized because of like behavioral issues is it's massive, like to the scale of like millions of dogs every year are euthanized due to behavioral issues. The
Yeah.
behavioral issues come down to the human that did or did not train them. So to me, it's like if a dog has to be euthanized for behavioral issues, that's on the human. So it's like you can't take it seriously enough to like, to me, it's like nobody should get a dog if they don't know, if they're not planning to do training with it. And especially if you're dealing with a power breed like a Great Pyrenees or an Anatolian, like those are power breeds. Like those dogs, I have met some really not nice Great Pyrenees because they haven't been well socialized with humans or with other dogs. And it's like, yeah, so they're definitely, yeah, they're it's a lot of work. You
Yeah.
got to be smart about training them.
Oh yeah, I don't want to do it unless I'm absolutely sure of everything about training and all that. So I
Yeah,
know some people hire trainers and they spend thousands on the puppy so they can like free up their own time. Because they have to like train it every day for like the first year and a half of its life, right?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
okay. So I do more research on that because once I get land, I would like to have like some sort of guard dog system for sheep, to start off with. We're starting off with a goat, project, chickens and goats. That's what we're starting off with in Carolyn's 120 acres.
Cool.
And then maybe next year we'll think about cattle, but she's trying to be a full-time farmer, not work two jobs. And I'm just absorbing any experience and giving her that extra push she needs right now. So
Right.
yeah, hopefully I'll learn a lot about rotational systems with that, and with your guys' stuff, I know I'll learn a lot. So
For
yeah,
sure. There's
it's
all
just
sorts of like my head is filled with all sorts of information. So
yeah,
and I'm pretty good at spitting it out. So yeah, and I would say that, you know, again, as I said, I'm very excited for the year ahead, different headspace. Got some different ideas as to how I'm approaching things for the year ahead. So, you know, we might be better to podcast interview a year from now.
yeah,
And you know, and maybe discuss more like in regards to like the food forest and that kind of stuff.
yeah, sure.
But yeah, I would love for you to just come hang out, see what we're doing,
Oh yeah, I would love that.
and we'll go from there.
And this podcast, would you not be comfortable with me uploading like a section of where we just talked about a certain topic,
Oh,
like
I'm
livestock
totally
garden
fine
and
with
stuff?
it. Yeah, no,
Okay,
I'm comfortable with everything we've said today. I
okay,
just, you know, as I said, like my dream is to like inspire and help educate other people. And this year I'm not feeling like super positive about
oh no,
kind of
I feel
the
like
year
that
that just
happens.
happened.
I feel like that happens to everybody, and we all
Yeah,
need like that extra push from our community, friends, family.
yeah.
So I think you guys are going to be fine. And again, like it's fantastic what you guys are doing, like an eco bubble.
Thank
I'm,
you.
I
Thank
wish
you.
there's more of that, but there's just nothing like that where I'm here, where I'm at. I have to drive 2.5
Yeah,
hours to do something like that, which is where your guys
yeah.
are from. So it's
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean, even York University, the permaculture course, the teacher, so he's done like projects all over the world. He's like, you guys are pioneers, like
Yeah.
you're pioneers, and we're just like, what? Like we have no idea what we're doing. Like, and he's like,
No,
yeah,
I think
well, like
yeah,
you know,
you just
you're
need.
doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it. You got to keep it up, and you just need extra help, I think. And obviously, I want to provide some help, but I also want to help you get more help. So I'll provide your links. Is your website currently working? Like, if I include that as
No,
a
I took the website down this year. Just again, like the cost of keeping it going just didn't seem worth it for the in regards to hosting it and the actual site itself. So I actually got rid of that. So you can find us on Facebook if you're on Facebook.
Mhm.
Uh, you just put in Ecobubble Micro Farm, and
Okay,
you'll find us. I think we've got like 1,200 followers
okay,
on Facebook. And but again, I haven't really posted. It's been a quiet winter for us,
yeah,
so we'll get going again in the spring. And yeah, So
It's really tough to not have a quiet winter in this area of the world. Like we have a quiet winter. It's really hard not to. So I commend you guys for
yeah,
trying. I think you will be able to, just after you get enough seasons in where you learn a lot of info about what's,
yeah.
so you
Definitely.
guys
Yeah, it's
got this.
definitely about like kind of finessing what we're doing and figuring out what works best for not only this property, but for the area that we live in. So,
Right. And
yeah,
hopefully get some sort of community building because I know that's a goal. That
yeah,
would be awesome. Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you for your
yeah,
time.
for sure.
I'll send you the edited.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Deborah.
Thanks to that. It was great to talk to you, and we'll be
Great
in
meeting you
touch.
too.
And I'll send you
Meet you.
I'll send you some links.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Keep in touch.